Um, so the more I looked into it, though, apparently that story was based on another story, though, that was originally published in 1946. And instead of it being a hawk or an eagle, it was a chicken, which to me was like, oh, that's even more appropriate for the story. And so the original story was that there was a fire on a farm, and everything just burned. It was just complete utter destruction. Everything was burned. All the animals died. And so the next day, the farmer was out kind of assessing the damage, and he found one of his hens on the ground standing straight up, with the wings down, and it looked really creepy, because you imagine this charred dead bird just standing on the ground.
Wow.
It's just like it's staring at you. So, he went to kick it over, and when he did, there was all of her little chicks ran out from under her that were still alive.
Wow.
And so, so the story was that, what she did whenever there was the smoke and the flames, rather than try to escape or get away or something, she gathered her babies together there under her wings and sacrificed herself to save the children.
Them.
And
that's appropriate.
So, and her body insulated them against the smoke and the heat of the flames to save their lives. And that to me was just, it's such an amazing analogy, because that is, the way that Christ here compares himself to a hen gathering his chicks. And it also made me think that, of course, there are different variations to that story, but that one was the most significant to me.
Dude, you just made me think of something awesome. So those chickens, she sacrificed that hen or whatever, or, sacrificed itself for those babies, for those chicks. And so she used her body to save them, basically. Yeah. Right. And the first thing that popped in my mind when you said that was partaking of the sacrament. It's like, we're taking on Christ's body. We're actually putting it in us. So Christ is within us to insulate us against, evil and temptation and things throughout the week. Thank goodness we do it weekly, because I need it daily, but it's so weekly, but that's an insulation. And that his body is, and so I just put that correlation together there with those two things. That's pretty awesome, man. That's actually a pretty powerful little story.
Oh yeah. And the thing that holds true to me here also is that the chicks have to go to the mother to be saved, which is another significant part of it, because when danger comes, and if it's not just in a fire, but if there's, and it's funny because we've had some chickens for a little while now, when COVID started, my wife decided she wanted to be a chicken farmer. So, we've had some yard chickens. It's been really cool, actually. It's been really neat having chickens and watching them, and, watching the babies being hatched and all the whole circle of life stuff. It's amazing. But so the babies have to go to her, because when danger comes, like if there's a hawk or something, we've even seen this here, because we've got across the street, there's a field there where we've seen some hawks before. And so the chickens are really cautious, and like they don't stay out in the open. They stay close to the edges of the wall, and the babies follow. There was one that had several babies, and the babies would follow the mother around, and they stay close to her, because if there's danger, she can't run around, and like if there's a hawk that's going to come and swooping down, she doesn't have time. She can't go try to gather them all up. Like, they have to be close to her. And when the babies are close to her, she'll jump up and she'll grab them up and, put them under her wings and protect them from whatever's coming. And so, they have to stay close to her at all times and be prepared to draw closer to her at the times that danger arises. And that to me seemed like a really good analogy also of how we are. We can't be lackadaisical in our faith as far as remaining close to Christ. We have to remain close to Jesus Christ at all times in order to be prepared for those times when danger arises.
That's great.
Chicken analogy is so great.
Oh yeah. I think it's 3 or 4 times back to back where the Lord, he said, where he's saying, I would have gathered you as a hen gathereth her chicken. So he was, that's spot on right there. For sure. I love that analogy.